Panda Anthem.
Ian, what's up?
Red Panda Anthem.
Red Panda, what's good?
Red Panda Anthem.
Okay, so let's go into another topic if we can. Okay. So,
go into the one you want to go into.
No. I'm gonna go into this. What did you see that made you say the storm was coming in October?
A couple of things. So when a good site that you guys can look at is macrotrends.net and Guru Focus. So I'm always looking to see what are the governments buying, what are the companies buying and hedge funds buying. I saw when we started to top out that a lot of investors with big capital stopped putting their money to work. So, and once we get past a certain point, I knew we were going to taper back, but once I didn't see certain people putting in a lot of money, and notice when the market was raging, everyone was going on, coming on Market Mondays, CNBC, shout out to everybody there. And then I noticed maybe in October, November, everyone got really, really quiet. And I started making some calls and texts. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Like, nothing, normal market. I'm like, nah, I feel that there's something up. And then when Bezos started to let off some of his positions and some top CEOs began to sell off, I'm like, that's usually a sign. I told you guys, whenever you start to see about 25 to 30 companies break those all-time highs and executives start to take those golden parachutes, that's a sign that they know that something is wrong. They can't tell everyone at one time that, hey, things are going to fall apart. So once I saw those things in tandem with everything hitting an all-time high, and I've said it from the beginning of the show, once quantitative easing stopped, we're going to go back to a real market. And once they began to taper, we got into a real market. So we're just now seeing what the market actually should be if they were not printing all of that money. So number one, always look at the yield curve. Number two, always look and see what the cycle of quantitative easing or printing of money from the Fed is. And then third, go look to see what the top 5 hedge funds are doing. That'll give you all the clues that you need to know if you should be buying or selling.
Yeah, I felt like we saw these things. We saw these signs and we alerted everybody to these signs.
We did.
And it was just kind of just like, yeah, it's just a sign. It's just a sign. We'll keep going. So yeah, I mean, I remember when we were talking like, yo, Elon sold some Tesla stock. Yeah, Bezos sold off some Tesla. Like, yo, like everybody's taking stock or selling stock in the company. It's like, yeah, these are signs.
One thing that you can learn from nature. I gave the earthquake. I gave the fire forest reference before, but if it's 105 degrees, what is a good chance of happening?
Rain.
Exactly. Rain. You got to cool it off. So whenever anything gets to a point where it's just too hot, you should expect rain. And, you see stocks at all-time highs. You see everything flying at all-time highs. At some point, it's going to get too hot. And rain is necessary. It has to cool off the environment. It just can't be 105 degrees every single day. It's just not conducive. Plants can't grow in that type of environment. So we learn a lot from nature, and then you can apply it to just, common sense. So you kind of could see this coming if you had, any indication of that, what comes up must come down, and it's a natural cool off. So.
Yeah. And the more volatility we have, I always told you guys, that's why you want steady, consistent gains opposed to like really explosive. And I know everyone wants to flip and get the bag real quick, but if you don't know when to take it out, the downside, for those of you that made 40,000, some of you turned around and then lost 80. So that's why I'm always big on every trade, have to know your target, long-term. A couple of you asked me, hey, should I have stop losses on my long-term? If you're in a position where you can withstand it, no, because the longer you want to hold equity positions in a company is much better. I don't recommend it unless, let's say you have less than $5,000 you invested into the market. If you have 5,000 or less, yes, I would put a stop loss. If you have more than that in for long-term investments, I wouldn't. But this is why you want steady, consistent gains opposed to rapid growth of 40%, 50%, and then we tumble down 25% because it shakes your confidence and destroys your confidence and your account at the same time.
Let's go to a few more questions before we bring our guests on. One, I know this is something that people want to know. Should they be buying now or waiting for more blood in the water? So you buy the dip and it keeps, nothing is worse than buying a dip. I learned that in crypto years ago. You buy the dip and then it keeps dipping. Then you buy the dip again and it keeps dipping. And then you just.
I got that meme going around.
It's like you just got like the Tweety birds like flying around in the head. Like you don't know what happened. Yeah. So what should they do? Should they be buying now or should they be waiting?
If you're buying quality, you should continue to buy. If you're buying something that is not top five, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, if it's not top five, you have to wait. You have to wait. And traders know this. When we have extreme volatility in the market and the market is just pinbarring like crazy and just going up and down, yes, you can make a couple good trades, but usually it doesn't last. Same thing with long term. So if you're looking at a 3-year horizon, 4-year horizon, 2 will be great. If you're looking to make money over the next 3 months, I will wait and put money on the sideline, especially if it's your last. But if it's not Apple, Microsoft, Google, Visa, AMD, I'm on the crypto side, Bitcoin. If you're in Ripple, I will continue to hold. Cardano, I wouldn't touch the Decentraland. Other than that, I wouldn't touch it. Now we're in the finals. We got 2 minutes left. Mo Williams not getting the ball. Shout out Abdullah. Appreciate you. LeBron's the greatest. I'm gonna go to you. Mo, I love you. I don't want no smoke.
Shout out to Mo.
Mo can't get the ball. Or I'll say Eric Snow. Eric Snow can't get the ball. It's clutch time. We got to go to Brian. You have to go to the most quality that there is. And you see, even with Apple, right? Buffett changed that classic Coca-Cola position from 20 years ago, and now Apple is that safe haven. When you see older statesmen in investing begin to park money in a company like that, that is also a sign that think like you guys put in chat. What percentage of Apple does Warren Buffett own, and how many shares? There's a reason he parked all that money there. He parked it there for protection. You want to put your money inside of a safe that will not burn down, that will not mold if it gets water on it. Like it's an ultimate hedge, right? So when you see hedge fund managers begin to put a bunch of money in one key position, it's a sign that things are going to slow down in the market and they have to still produce alpha. So if they have more diversification, it means the market is broader, it's doing a lot better. If they hyper focus, usually a sign that the market is going to tighten and things are going to fall apart.
Ian, on the crypto side, you left out Ethereum intentionally, or are you not big on Ethereum long term? Listen, man,
if Wakanda was real and T'Challa needed me, well, I'll put every resource behind Red Panda and T'Challa. I'm not going to say it publicly though. What's any different than Ethereum? I've been telling you guys from day one what my entire thesis on crypto was, and I want you guys to understand this, right? Because I'm trying to make sure I keep my.
Can you explain that reference?
If
you lost me.
If the founder of Ethereum is Russian, he can't publicly say in the United States, "I am pro-Russia." But if his family's in Russia, who do you think his allegiance would be to? I've been telling you guys since the very beginning. They have tricked the United States American public into investing into assets that are not, this is financial treason. And here's the crazy part. People don't even care. Bro, I don't want to hear that. I don't care about no nationalism. I'm black. Bro, I don't care. They tear the country down. Bro, I feel you. I want y'all to get y'all coins. But if they get okay. And then when all these hacks happen and the information gets stolen, you don't think that they're not using that to their advantage? This is a deeper game that they're playing. And also with Russia, please don't be surprised and now we'll stay clear away from this topic because I can hear my dad in my head right now. Please do not be surprised if Vladimir Putin all of a sudden decides to just leave and disappear for a year and then pop up in China. Russia falls apart, but him and Xi Jinping plan to. I told you guys from the very beginning, the first way to infect and destroy a country from the inside is through the financial instruments. It's not about getting your boots and your war hat on and just shooting your rifle. It's a different game. It is cyber warfare and financial economic terrorism. And if they convince the American people to buy Bitcoin, which is a Chinese asset, quote unquote, Ethereum, which is a Russian one, and then Elon Musk, as great of a CEO as he is, it's Dutch. It's the top 3 assets. What does that do to our ecosystem? Nike does not sell Iversons in their store for a reason. It's a bigger game, and I know it. No one will believe it. But when you guys write this documentary and do these movies, please quote us as having said this, that this is going to happen. And shout out to those of you who sent me the Dan Pena video. Dan Pena was saying this a year ago, and I had never heard it, that he thought Putin was majority owner of Bitcoin and crypto. And then Russia owns a great majority of Ethereum.
Well, there's rumors that Vladimir Putin is the richest person in the world.
That's true.
Yes.
What y'all say out there? Big Fendi, big facts. That's real. Big Fendi with the double big
Fendi. That's a Fendi. Yeah.
Same thing. If Apple to me is the mafia, kudos to everyone at Apple. I love you guys. I know you don't like when I say that. You guys are a kind cartel. If you get 30% off of every business, that makes you the mob, essentially, that provides protection. What percentage of business in Russia does Vladimir Putin get?
A lot.
Next subject.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you said that. We had this interesting conversation with Steve Harvey, but I had one today where it's like in certain parts of the world, your wealth is not discussed. Like that's really like kind of a United States thing where we create publications like the Forbes and where your wealth is broadcast. And there's plenty of people that have large assets that won't discuss their wealth, that have way more money than I guess what we assume to be the wealthiest people in the world. And they do that very intentionally because the wealthier you get, the more you want to protect yourself from anyone trying to attack you. So it was just an interesting thing. I'm glad that you said that because we had this conversation offline about Putin and, the amount of money that he's put inside of the wealthiest people's accounts inside of Russia. Allegedly. We did use the word alleged.
Very, very important word.
We did say allegedly.
Purposes only.
In the text.
Very important word.
Yeah, always alleged. So it's interesting, man.
My mentor used to tell me back in the day that publicity is for those who are rich, that are aspiring to be wealthy. The purpose of being wealthy is to be hidden so you can then protect your family and your power. The higher you get up that food chain, you'll see the real richest people they're hiding in plain sight. They're hiding in place. I'll ask you guys a question. Who owns all the toll road? Name me the person that owns all the toll roads in the United States of America. Now talked about on Twitter. He's not going to do anything on Spaces on Twitter. It's a different game. That's why I tell you, you're going to see in 2 years, especially when mark my words, and 50 may be one of them. Stars paid my guy what he needs, right? In 2 years, you're going to see probably 30 or 40 entrepreneurs go on huge press campaigns about how they went bankrupt just so they can get out of public eye and sail off into the sunset with their riches. What do you think all these golden parachutes are about? Can you guys put in chat how many CEOs have exited with golden parachutes in the last 6 months? You always have to follow the money, and that will tell you what you should invest in or not. That's why I say if Tim Cook stays at Apple, we're good. We're good. If he leaves, I'll be the first to tell you, yeah, it's over. No more Apple in that 2 Tech 2 index formula. You got to get a replacement. As long as Satya is at Microsoft, we're good. The clues are there. Like if leadership is starting to leave, that's usually a troubling sign. But yeah, the real richest people in the world, I don't want to be revealed.
Yeah, what a T. Trillions.
This that Red Panda anthem. Ian, what's up? This that Red Panda anthem. Red Panda, what's good? Red Panda anthem. Whole foot going up. I know they can't stand it.